Why, hello everyone. It's January 17th and episode 11 of the news as I see it. So as of late, the whole video game realm has been in upheaval as, the government is once again blaming video games for shootings. Now, yes, shootings have been happening, and yes, these people have issues. It's more in tune with things like bullying and their personal lives, mental instability. Yet all these shootings are being blamed on video games, yet again. However, after these meetings Joe Biden's been having about how can the government fix all these shootings with various forms of gun control, they're also having various looks into how is violent media affecting, society, more so young people. Now, he's then now saying that he's not pointing a finger at video games, but at the same time, you invited a bunch of people to a violent media discussion. Violent media, that's video games. You're not fooling anyone. Like, you're accusing video games of being violent. Let's stop beating around the bush. Let's just address the issue. You're accusing video games. There's dozens of studies from various types of industry professionals saying video games haven't done anything. They in fact have nothing to do with violence at all. They reflect human nature. Human nature is both good and evil, insanely violent. All of our history, every moment in history is plagued with violence. It is the spark of life. Go watch, 2001: A Space Odyssey. You'll see how it all unravels. But this plot only thickens. So yet again, in mentioning gun control, violence, shootings, no one talks about taking away assault rifles. They either talk about just taking away guns, which is good luck because Second Amendment, I'll see you when you get here. And then they again are blaming video games. However, they keep skirting around the issue about blaming video games. They can't have the gall to just blame video games anymore. With Mortal Kombat, back in those days, it was very easy for them. But now, with the case not quite as clear cut as children killing children, it's evolved. Now they have to find a better way to try and finally ban video games or do whatever it is they're trying to do to video games. It's unclear. However, what is very clear is that Obama has given $10 million to the CDC to research violent media, especially video games, and how it's affecting people. The CDC, the people who are 2 minutes down the street from me and are in charge of, curing cancer. They have, the smallpox vaccine, and, they have like smallpox there to cure it if it outbreaks again, to make another vaccine. The people who've ended plagues, the plague ending people, they want them to research how violent media affects youth and people. What a waste of freaking money. That's why we're in the deficit, is because instead of, having principals and teachers actually stop bullying in schools and causing people to kill people in schools, it's video games. Video games aren't allowed in school. How are you even connecting those things? Like, it's bullying. It's always been bullying. That's obvious. The people say, I killed the people who bullied me. It's a terrible tragedy, but it's not video games. Video games aren't training soldiers with mindless agendas to kill people. That has never happened. Video games, almost always, you're the protagonist, killing the antagonist, which are usually people who kill Americans. I don't see how any of these dots are connecting. However, the CDC, okay, so you have the CDC research violent media. That's a waste of money. Other people could do it and do it a lot better. However, what he has to say about it and what his reasoning is, I do like. We don't benefit from ignorance. We don't benefit from not knowing the science of this epidemic of violence. Congress should fund research into the effects violent video games have on young minds. Video games. Now, let's reflect. They're now officially blaming video games. Congratulations, you have the balls to be president. I'm proud of you. But video games. When was the last time you had a cousin, a relative, a friend, anyone you knew playing video games who just lashed out at you and shot you? And then you could somehow, in any way, link it to video games. You couldn't. Now, how many school shootings have there been in the last decade? Not a lot. Is one too many? Yes, it is terrible. However, these are such isolated incidents. It's just one group of people did it, and then there's been essentially copycatters. This is all terrible, don't get me wrong. However, there are so many more armed robberies and all these other things that have been going on for thousands and thousands of years. All of human history has been plagued with crime, violence, and murders. Except these school shootings are now the only reason anyone cares about gun control. The only reason in our entire history, especially American history. So for hundreds of years, no one has cared about gun control. No one. If anything, it's we need more guns to kill criminals. Cool. I'm down with that more than you can even wrap your head around. However, the second there's a school shooting, it's gun control, video games are to blame. It makes no sense. You're making no sense. You're afraid of, the country thinking you don't care about school shootings. I get that. Video games? Like, the only outlet I had as a kid to deal with various forms of bullying, homework, all this crap was video games. I could get out my frustration in video games, killing orcs, killing terrorists, the people who, attacked the World Trade Center, the terrorists, the people you could go kill in Call of Duty games. You're making no sense. Now, a member of the Missouri House has sponsored a bill to tax video games, violent video games. That is so unconstitutional and insulting. I am offended as an American, as a man, as a gun owner, as a gamer, as a human being. I am insulted and I feel ashamed to be an American. I don't usually like talking about politics. I usually don't like getting into politics. However, this insults me, offends me. I feel just shamed by this notion and all of these notions that violent games have anything to do with gun violence, especially in school shootings. There's no connection. Please do your studies. Waste all of our money. Do your studies. Let's make this official. Let's make it the biggest deal possible so we can go out on a bang. So video games can finally have a clean slate. All the science can be done, and in 100 years we can do it again, but let's leave it alone for a decade. Let's just try and do that. So if you don't know about the Arma 3 devs who were arrested in Greece for military espionage and were kind of basically going to be in prison for 20 years, mainly because they were taking photos of a military base and it was considered espionage. It's a really weird situation. Don't really know all the details. It's kind of hard to know. It's more of a higher echelon government deal than a peon like me deal. However, one of the guys was really in cahoots with Rocket in making DayZ. So they were released finally. They were put on bail, 5,000 euros apiece, 20 years in prison and a 5,000 euro bail apiece. What? Anyways, so they've been released. So now DayZ, I guess, can actually get back on track. The DayZ standalone, that is. So I'm excited for that, and I'm very, very happy these guys were released. I don't think they were doing military espionage, but at the very least, they deserve to be back with their families. I don't think they're guilty. They could be, and I could eat my words, but I'm just glad they're home safe, and they can continue making DayZ. It's going to be an awesome game. And Arma 3 looks amazing as well. So Bungie revealed a new franchise, World of Destiny. Don't know much, but look at this picture. It looks awesome, and I'm excited for a new franchise. Loved Halo, but let's get real. Leave it alone. I'm over it. Stop making sequels to games. They don't need all these sequels. There are games like Age of Empires, where it's the mechanic you're coming back for, not the whole deal, not the franchise. It's just, Ensemble made a good game. They made Age of Empires. Keep making new ones with better features. A game like Halo, you made 1, you made 2, you made 6. Leave it alone, dude. Leave it alone. Make a new game. I'm glad you are. This looks amazing. I can't wait to see more about it because this art style alone, I hope it actually transcends into the game and it's not more amazing concept art that gets, a 2 million polygon count reduction. I just want this to transcend into a game. So as you probably know, I am extremely excited for ArcAge. It's finally being sort of mentioned that's going to have an American release. It just got released in Korea a day ago. So it's coming. It's finally coming. And to prove that, They actually made an English website, a real functioning, amazing English website. About 5 hours prior to that, I was saying, why in the heck is their website trash? It was like a 4-year-old Twitter feed. It was awful. However, go to the new website. It's just arcades.com/en, hashtag index, but I'll put down in the description. This is an amazing website. It really showcases the game. Just go to the website. If you want to, you can click on each individual icon, or you can just mouse wheel through the whole thing, and it is phenomenal. At certain points, there's other things you can click on, but really, just mouse wheel through the website. It is a journey. It's like a choose your own adventure, but it's news about the game, or just features of the game. And I'm telling you, it's stunning. It's an amazing website, and it really talks about all the features in enough depth for you to get what's going on. So Deep Silver, the guys who made Dead Island, which I thought was going to be an amazing game, and it kind of dropped the ball through the earth and out into space, and it never was seen again. However, they released an expansion, Dead Island Riptide, and a statuette was going to come with the collector's edition type deal. Look at the statuette. That is ridiculous. How did they think that was going to be a good idea? And everyone has been in uproar. Feminists, gamers, people from, England and New Zealand and all these places actually use that flag. And seemingly no one wanted it, except maybe a couple people who are into necrophilia, who knows. But they've apologized. They said it'll never happen again. They didn't realize it was going to be the stupidest decision they could ever make, other than releasing Dead Island the way it was. However, it's still kind of unclear if they're even not going to release the statuette. They just said they're not going to do it again. But that, to me, from a game company who I don't think did too well on Dead Island, I don't think they're going to pull a product that I'm assuming they've already started production on. So I think they're probably going to release it and not sell those games instead of not releasing it and probably selling them. So who knows, guys, but I would probably do some serious PR work before you make any more choices. Maybe some heavy testing, maybe ask somebody, does this offend you? They'll probably say yes. So I would kind of plan things a little better. Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition. Baldur's Gate is one of those games that has really defines my gaming life, and go buy it. It's now on Steam. Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition. It's kind of a remastered version of Baldur's Gate. Just go get it. Go check it out. Go watch something. Support it. An amazing game. It's an oldie, but a goodie. I'm a huge fan of tower defense games, and Defense Grid is a really awesome game. They did a really good job with it. I love playing it. And there's an expansion coming out on the 23rd. It was supposed to have already come out. It didn't, but it's supposed to come out on the 23rd. I'm super excited. I hope it's really good. I can't wait to see what they're adding to the game. I sang a little bit for you. So lastly, a tidbit of information I've been dying to actually know. Guild Wars 2 has sold 3 million copies. I am so glad they've done pretty well. That's a lot of copies. I've been kind of worried about how they've been doing because although I have stopped playing, I'm not done playing. I just played a whole hell of a lot of it, and I'm waiting for new content so I can go back into it since it is a free-to-play game. You buy it once, and you get to play as long as you want. So when they add more content, I will go and play it, and I'm glad they've sold 3 million copies because that really means they're doing well. That's not including how much they've sold in the cash shop. That's just actual copies of the game. So that's amazing, and I just hope more and more and more amazing things come from Guild Wars 2. But that's it for the news as I see it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Now, this is a 2-day episode, so I didn't cover yesterday's, and this is actually in the morning. So it's kind of been 2 days since you've had a news for me. But 2 days ago, I didn't like the news at all. The only news was this. This is the only news I could find that I cared about. Yesterday's news has been pretty good. However, my sleep schedule's been a little weird, so I'm covering it. Hopefully you see it when you wake up. If you've already gone to work, I'm sorry. You can have 2 days of news when you get home from work, but at the very least, this is covering yesterday's news. So, hope you guys enjoy, and that's it for the news as I see it, and I will see you guys tomorrow. And if you have any news you'd like for me to cover, please tweet it at me at Algol Gaming or at Algol's News or hashtag Algol's News. And I will see you guys tomorrow.